Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is pretty interesting. I came across it today. Actually, I had a couple people tag us on Twitter from Niche Gamer that the director of Ghost in the Shell says that political correctness has made Western games terrible.
No, you don't say.
What?
Never.
Yeah, so this is a discussion that keeps coming up, obviously, because we talked about the whole debacle with Assassin's Creed Shadows not landing very well in Japan with a lot of Japanese people.
Yeah, that's because they're bigots.
Because they're all bigots.
And they're racist against Japanese people.
Also, I did a video the other day talking about Power World, and they said the reason that they made supposedly the reason they made some of the decisions they made in regards to like the body type and all that was that a lot of people working on Power World did not have any experience, and they wanted the game to go big globally. So they looked at the West and they were like, oh, this is just what they do over there, so we're going to do it too. It's like, but we're seeing more and more signs that Japan has kind of taken control, back from the West, and they're starting to realize that they've been led astray by, I think, a lot of people in California, vocal minority. And
they're not going to make all their women ugly for no reason because feminism. Because apparently the only way you're a feminist is if you're homely as hell.
Well, look at Marvel Rivals. Now that's a Chinese game, but Marvel Rivals, like they made all the Marvel characters look like themselves. They're all conventionally attractive, even Carol Danvers. And you know what I'm saying? It's a huge hit. They're not making them dumpy, frumpy,
Well, they're just not focusing on that at all. They're just focusing on the, what they do in the gameplay and stuff. They just have to make the characters look like themselves because, that's what you do.
Right.
And you have people screaming about it.
There's always people screaming about something. So we're going to talk about this. It's a very interesting development, and this does dovetail nicely with all the conversations that we're having about the video game industry, anime industry, and why I think more and more Westerners are going to be pushed out of it completely because Japan is getting tired of it. Mm-hmm. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo! Again, I don't think Japan's the only place that's getting tired of it, though.
Everybody's tired of it. That's the thing. Like, I think what happened was now the facade is crumbling, right? We had the gaming media, and we had, the people working at the, as local, quote unquote, localizers for these different companies, and now they're starting to see, and the proof is in the pudding, right? It's in the sales, and they're also probably looking at the sales of these Western developed games, that are going all in on DI. They're like, man, they're not even buying their own games. Like they're going all woke with these games, and they're not even, but nobody's buying these games.
No.
So why should we kowtow to them, right? Anyway, Niche Gamer, Ghost in the Shell director is at Mamoru Oshii says political correctness has made Western games terrible. The director said that political correctness, he has a strong aversion to it in his work, and he directed Pat Labor, Ghost in the Shell, Jinro, all the 90s stuff. In an interview with PIA News, he took the time to mention political correctness and the role it has made as a potential tool of censorship and insincerity. So we've got the whole interview, but here's the part I guess they said is the most important. Political correctness started from the idea of giving legitimacy to the socially weak. There's nothing wrong with that. In a mature society, it's a natural responsibility. However, the problem is that is taken as a starting point and made the socially weak into the strong. They were given priority in getting into school, priority in finding a job. What's more, the companies that advise them charge them ridiculous amounts in consulting fees. Okay, so this probably is about like the Sweet Baby Inks and the... Mm-hmm. Because they came in and they were like, oh, hey, yeah, you got to make your game diverse and inclusive. So for, $50 million, we'll tell you, you need more brown lesbians in your game. Game companies ask for hundreds of millions of yen from them. Yeah. I'm seeing this with more and more Japanese companies now. I think they'll walk it back, but there was a period for like a year or two where we had Japanese companies that normally did not give a shit. They just did what they wanted to do and they published what they wanted to publish. All of a sudden, you're starting to see this Western DEI wokeness stuff start to creep into the Japanese games, and they think it's to increase their audience overseas, right? Because you want to make sure. And again, if you're just thinking about money, you're like, well, if we make this, make these changes to this game, we censor this, we do that, whatever, more people in America are going to buy it. And that's what these consultants are probably telling them.
Well, I think they tried this with anime too, but anime didn't go all in like gaming seems to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look at how much money is being spent on these games, $200-300 million, and they're failing miserably. But yeah, anime, I think they kind of realized early on what the hell was up, because they're like, you're trying to cancel this Shield Hero, which is like one of our most popular.
Well, they did. I mean, but the Shield Hero, the people they were trying to bend a knee a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I don't think it worked for them. And then they're like, they learned quick, and it didn't. They didn't go all in as much as like on the gaming and stuff. But I think it's funny because you said he's like a lot of the 90s stuff. Well, the PC mentality, all that stuff was 90s, remember? Like, we call it now other things, but calling it political correctness itself was a 90s thing.
Yeah, it was. But now what we're seeing, and this is what, it's interesting. We were just talking about Bill Maher before we started recording this, and he was trying to explain the difference between being a liberal and being woke. And he said basically liberalism and it is, has been bastardized, and it's become this like weird cult-like perverted version of itself, which is what wokeness is. So you had ideas of, acceptance and realizing not everybody's got the same, backstory, not everybody has the same advantage, whatever, back in the 90s. But weirdly enough, in the 90s, we had a lot of people that now would be considered marginalized doing very, very well. TV shows and movies, and people did, and we didn't really, back then the goal was to be colorblind, to be agnostic to gender or sexual identity.
Yeah, the goals are different. Like back then it was to be like, you wanted it to be accepted, and like you wouldn't think anything of it. And it got to that point. And now it's not that. Now these people that are the ones screaming the loudest, they just want more. They don't want it to go back to that's normalized. They say they want it normalized, but they don't. What they mean is that you're supposed to like appreciate how brave and everything they are every day, and make sure you give them accolades every day and everything else. And that's not what acceptance and normalization is. No.
So he goes on to say, so basically it's based on admiration. If you deny admiration, entertainment loses its reason for existence as entertainment. In the past, even if you said beautiful, people would say it was discriminatory. Western games are really terrible with political correctness. Because they're the ones who wanted to do we have the whole conversation about body type A and B. Like, I expect body type A, B, 1, 2, whatever in new games, but they're going back to Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah,
30-some-year-old, and then they're going back and altering the artwork, Toriyama's artwork, and he's passed, and to make things more gender neutral. And even the director of that game came out and said, yeah, this political correctness stuff is like gone way too damn far.
Well, it's like, and then they do this for a while, and that's like all you hear about, and it disappears. Like when they were rewriting all the different books, that was you're hearing it everywhere, and now it's just like gone. Hearing about it anymore. And this will be like everywhere, and then it'll be suddenly disappeared again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like you didn't hear anything about Roald Dahl. They were doing, and then Dr. Seuss for a while. They were banning books, like literally banning books. And look, both sides ban books, right? Like, this is just, it's whoever's in charge gets to pick which books get banned. But they were trying to ban Dr. Seuss books that were fine for years. I mean, again, I think most people understand certain pieces of entertainment are a product of their time. And you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Japan, I think they're just getting tired of having to kowtow to Western sensibilities. And a lot of, I'm seeing more and more people working, especially the older guys, they've been working in the industry for years, and anime and video games and manga. And they're like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like,
well, they've been down this path before, and they've tried to make changes. It's never enough. If you get inch, you give an inch, take a mile, say analogy. Yeah. If you give an inch, they want 100 miles. Like, nothing is ever enough. And as soon as you get to a place where you stop, offending one person, other people are offended. It was kind of like that when they were going to do that Pacific Islander or whatever it was, campaign on Critical Role or whatever, and then the one person it wasn't enough because you didn't include this and this, that. It's never enough. Yeah.
So what happens with, or it was like Aztec or something like that.
I forget what it was. It was like every region it was in, but
there's Critical Role, and then there was Genshin Impact too, where the characters weren't dark skinned enough, and a lot of the voice actors got themselves basically fired because they kept bad mouthing the publisher. But you got to realize, I mean, you want to talk about cultural sensitivity. Japan is not California, and I'm saying California in particular because California is not the rest of the country, But they've basically been calling the shots for at least the last decade in the video game industry. And I think it's going to change because I think basically what you need to do as a gamer, as a consumer of any entertainment, is support the stuff that you actually enjoy. Don't be guilted into supporting something that doesn't look good if you don't want to support it. And that's the thing too. They use guilt because they know a lot of people, have given the choice, would choose to reject a lot of this stuff.
The thing is that it's not working anymore, which is why they're ramping it up and calling people names more than ever, because it used to work like, oh, I don't want to inadvertently be a bad person. Now everybody's so tired of hearing of it. They're desensitized to it and they're just like, screw you.
They're like, fine, I'm a Nazi, whatever. It's Tuesday. Everybody's a Nazi, right? I mean, whatever. Just because I don't like your game, your movie, your comic book, whatever. I'm over it. And yeah, because it was a shock at first. It was like, oh my God, they literally think because I did XYZ thing or I liked XYZ thing that I'm a literal, right-wing, alt-right supremacist. Oh my God.
Whatever is to film.
Right. And they're going to call my place of employment. They're going to try to get me fired from my own company because they don't like my stupid YouTube videos. It's so fucking weird. Which that actually happened.
Yeah, yeah.
That actually happened. Somebody tried to get me fired from my own company.
Did you know? They sent it to our own email. It's like, dumbass.
They called the one number and they left the
it was a phone message.
Yeah, okay. It was a phone. Like, did you know that the company you're working with, that they make these videos that are hateful? And just side note, I didn't realize, because I'm not on Reddit very much anymore. We had a whole conversation about Reddit today about how crazy it's gotten. But I went in and I saw a bunch of links to videos that were basically auto posted to Reddit in our own subreddit, that somebody had been going through and flagging every video and saying that it was racist against them. And like the videos didn't even have any, but like nobody was being singled out at all. They were just trying to flag shit just for the sake of flagging it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about it. I'm like, I was going through, I'm like, that's freaking weird. I was like, that is weird.
I knew you said that people kept getting mad about thumbnails and then saying we said stuff we didn't say.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah,
but I didn't know about the other one. That's significantly worse.
Yeah, so this happens often. Basically, you have a handful of people that want to police everybody else's everything. And it was like, it wasn't the video, like the videos weren't even about them. But yeah, we had people too. They were like, oh yeah, you're a Nazi because your thumbnail says this. And then I actually had to call them out on the one thread. I actually jumped into it and they didn't know what to do. But I'm like, hey, yeah, you didn't watch the video, because if you watched the video, you'd know we didn't say any of the things that you said we said. But people aren't even watching the video. They're listening to your summary of what you think the video is about based on the thumbnail. And how many other people are you doing this to? Crazy son of a bitch.
Right. Well, that's all I do. That's all I got. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap this up. I think it's gonna end real soon, at least in Japan. And basically, support what you want to support with your money, and money talks. And we're going back to that. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.